Hi there, good noon, and welcome to yet another session where you and I sit down together and practice questions, right? So, I think one of the most important things in English, especially, of course, it's true for every section, but even more so for English, is that you practice with the faculty member. What this practice does is that it brings your mind in tune with mine. So, the goal is that both of us should start thinking in a similar way, in a similar fashion when we go ahead and attempt those questions. We are at our 19th such session today. So, we plan to work on RCs, and I am very sure, very confident that this is going to be equally exciting, equally useful for you. So, I welcome you to BYJU'S Exam Prep channel that is dedicated to your success as a B School aspirant. My name is Vikrant. I am your personal coach for all things related to English and communication here. I occasionally also talk about the psychological aspects of preparation. So if you have any issue in any of these areas, please do not hesitate and reach out. Additionally, you remember a few days ago we floated a Google Doc where we asked you for what you want, and you would have by now noticed that we are conducting more such sessions on this channel. So merely because we have stopped asking you to fill that Google Doc does not mean that you can stop giving your feedback to us. That's absolutely important. So if there is an area that you want to know more about, talk more about, please make sure that you do share that with us. And before I start the session, you know that you have this absolutely bonkers opportunity. We have never done that before, where you can actually go ahead and have a 3-day free trial. You can join our batch for 3 days with all the features, all the functionalities available to you so that you can see how we teach, and then you can take a call on joining us. So with that said, let's get ready for our job for the day. So starting with the first passage, as usual, get into that mental space, that mental zone. We'd actually go ahead and work on 2 passages today. So get into that zone and we'll start. Focus. Let's go. As usual, once you are done reading it, let me know in the comment box. Done? Okay. Fantastic, Sonali. If one more person could confirm, then I'd actually be able to take you ahead rather soon. Okay, so there you go. The next paragraph for you. Harari Dovasi, good afternoon. That's a new name. It's good to see you here. Welcome. Or maybe you were there, but you were not sending the answers, you know. Fantastic. Next. Tirupati, what is FM? All I know is FM radios. You want me to tune into a particular channel, start singing or what? Man, all these acronyms of the youth. Okay, oh, that's GM. Oh, that's good morning. Ah, very good afternoon to you too, buddy. Okay, here is the next one. So this is the last paragraph. Oh yes, I know. Welcome to the channel, Tirupati. I'm sure you'd find it very useful in your CAT prep journey. I mean, attending most these sessions basically is like joining a practice batch on top of your regular preparation. So ready? Shall we start? Okay, so you realize this entire passage started off by introducing us to a German word. Now, I've realized that German, in fact, a lot of other languages happen to have some really amazing words that convey an idea in just in a single word, and English does not have a corresponding word. So normally what English does is that it borrows words from other languages. In fact, I can think of these two words that we have borrowed from German into English, and we use them very frequently. So one such word is Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude is where you derive happiness from the misery of others. Another word that is from German is used very commonly is Zeitgeist. Particular sets of beliefs and ideas that were prevalent in a particular era at a particular time. So for example, the zeitgeist of 80s America and today's India is this preoccupation with wealth and status. But then there are some more German words that I have encountered and like, oh, these are words that we should somehow get into our language. So one such word is Backpfeifangesicht. Backpfeifangesicht is, someone who deserves a tight slap on his or her face. I should say his face, right? So if I say he's a Backpfeifangesicht, somebody who deserves a slap on the face. Now, you must have felt the urge to say it about someone, right? And then another word is introduced in this particular passage and is also defined. So let us start. Oh yes, Vedant, Autobahn. I drove to office today, and I don't know Autobahns that well, but I definitely know the opposite of Autobahns. Okay, so get ready with the questions. Oh, there was one more. I forgot. My God. Oh yes, the last paragraph now. I ended up breaking your flow today, huh? The last para. Man, yes, you guys are giving me a lot of. Yes, Sri, absolutely. It's definitely in the newspapers. Let's hope that we are able to mine it in a sustainable, environmentally conscious manner. So, yes. Done? Blitzkrieg. Oh. All right. So now we are ready for our questions. So here is your question number 1 on the screen. how can batteries solve the problem of Duncan-Flaute? So go ahead and tell me. Sri, there are a lot of geopolitical challenges that we are facing. I'm sure this is one of those dominant ones. China is the factory of the world. In fact, even our exports from China are increasing, which basically shows that we are more and more relying on them. So what's your take? We have two answers. Sneha and Nishant think it should be A. Anyone else who thinks that it should be something else and not A? So A it is, for that matter. Just change the color to. So indeed A. Absolutely. All of you have managed to get this right. When I look at B, it's actually the other way around. The renewable energy sources power the batteries and then they can later supply it. It cannot be the other way around. And when it comes to C, can they be used as a substitute for renewable energy on a permanent basis? Well, not according to the passage. They can fill in temporarily when we are going through the dark lull. You know, that period where there is no electricity, there is no sun, there is no wind. So that's basically Dunkel-Flaute. So A it is. Okay, here is your next question. Each of the following is a disadvantage of using batteries except. So a specific detailed question that would rely on your ability to recall things that were mentioned in which paragraphs? Okay, so we're getting a lot of B's. Nishant think it's C. So B versus C. These are the two that we need to look at. So is B a disadvantage? They are relatively inexpensive. It is mentioned and are getting cheaper. It is an advantage and not a disadvantage, and therefore this is indeed the answer. Now when you look at C, C is definitely mentioned as one of the disadvantages. In fact, the fourth paragraph focuses on that, right? So third and fourth paragraph predominantly talked about the disadvantages, and fifth, the last one, talked about a constraint in terms of price. So that is where the concerns could have been taken out from. So B will be our best answer for this. Here is your next question on the screen. What's your take? Okay, Vedant. Vedant, what was the key idea of the first two paragraphs respectively? If you could recall that. I see that, Nishant. Okay, Sneha. So, what does this passage really do? What does it tell you? What is it about? The very first paragraph introduces a term, a German term for you, and then it tells you that it bothers those who rely on renewable energy. The first two paragraphs. Then the third paragraph, the very first sentence says, the obvious solution is batteries, not lithium ion batteries, mind you. The obvious solution is batteries, and within that, lithium ion batteries which are around, and then the concerns associated with those. So why did we talk about batteries? We talked about batteries as a potential solution for the dark lull, the dark doldrums, when you do not get energy from renewables. So the paragraph starts by talking about the fact that people who rely on renewable energy happen to have a worry. And what is that worry? Dark lull, dark doldrums. For example, a lot of people who drive EVs, these electric vehicles, they happen to have something called the range anxiety. ना कितनी देर चलेगी, खत्म तो नहीं होने वाली है, all sorts of things. Similarly, people who rely on renewables, their anxiety is called Dunkelflaute or Dunkelflaute, right? So that's what the passage is. Now, if I look at A, it explains why electric grids are still not reliant on renewable energy. Yes. The reason is Dunkelflaute, but what about the last three paragraphs where we talked about batteries as a possible solution? So can I say this is narrow? These are all questions which rely on an overview of the passage, right? So A will become narrow. How about B? It describes the pitfalls of being too reliant on lithium ion batteries. See, the focus is primarily on batteries. Within that subset, lithium ion batteries, and yes, it does talk about not the pitfalls. Pitfalls are if you use it, this is how you are going to end up in a trouble. This talks about the shortcomings or the constraints. So pitfalls versus constraints, number one. Number two, it does not talk about the first two paragraphs at all. The batteries are mentioned in the context of limitations of renewable energy. So once again, narrow, talks about third, fourth and fifth paragraph, misses out on the first two. C, is it about Dunkelflaute? Yes, but then it is also about the batteries. This is just the first two paragraphs. D, on the other hand, talks about the entire passage. So, narrow. The A, B and C were all narrow, and that is why the best answer here is option D and not A, B or C. And in case your accuracy rate in these three question types is relatively low, which three? Main idea, suitable title, primary purpose. If the accuracy is low, and by low here I mean if it's less than 70%, then it simply tells us that we need to work on creating or generating a more effective overview of the passage. Okay, so work on that and hopefully you'd see absolutely stellar accuracy, I'd say within around 50 days. Okay, here is the next one. Question number 4 on your screen. So tell me what you think. Okay, Sneha has set the ball rolling. So far we are coming up with C. Is C the right answer? Okay, so what do we do when the question asks us to infer? We go to the answer choices and apply a label. What label? True, false or can't say. So let's start with A. lithium ion batteries may have a role to play if we want to shift from conventional to renewable sources of energy. True. How about B? There are some entities that want to depend only on renewable energy for their energy needs. Yes, we know of at least one country according to the passage, so some is justified. So that is also true. C, renewable sources of energy become very cheap with more extensive use. It's going to be either false or can't say. Why? The last paragraph, it says that the prices are not going to fall more than 30%. So to say that they will become very cheap, that's a problem. Moreover, it says with more extensive use. We are talking about the future here. We are not even talking about whether the sources would become, will keep on getting cheaper the more and more you use them. So we wouldn't really have much to go by. D, if the Duncan-Flaute problem is solved, electric grids may rely completely on renewable energy. Yeah, may, absolutely yes, true. So what does the question ask us? Cannot be inferred, which means three of them are true, one of them is not true, the one which is not true is the answer, and thus you are absolutely right in choosing C as your answer. Here is the next one, the last one based on this passage. What's your take? Okay. So let's have a quick look at the meanings. So what do you understand by thwart? Thwart basically means to stop something from happening, or at times even to stop someone from doing something. For example, my parents were supposed to go out for a vacation, and when parents leave for vacation, what do the children do? So you know, right? But unfortunately their flight got cancelled at the last minute. So I'll say the last minute cancellation of my parents' flight tickets thwarted my plans to throw a party or my plans to invite someone special over. So you get the drift. So that's thwart. Prevent, we all know. Prevent is when you stop something from happening. Encouraged, again most of us know, when you urge or inspire someone to do something. Then instigate, in Hindi instigate means bhadkana, है ना, आग लगाते हैं ना हम कई बार. So, or in other words, to cause an event to happen, usually something bad, by initiating the plan or by starting that process, or by asking people to go ahead or urging them to go ahead and do something. So that's instigate. And then the last word is impelled. Impel simply means to coerce someone, to force someone to do something. And because we are looking for the meaning of thought, I think we'd have no hesitation in choosing A. So that takes care of a first passage, and today we'd have one more passage to go through. So here you go, the next passage on your screen. Let's start. Very, very fascinating passage. Once you've read the passage, it's an extract from a passage from Ion Essays. You should go ahead and read the rest of it too. In fact, some of you will feel that you should read the rest of it, because there is a very crucial part that has been introduced but has not been dealt with in the passage. So my constraint is the IIMs nowadays give us passages around 500 words long, right? So generally you'd stop once you reach that 500 wordish range of things. Let's go ahead and see this. Fantastic. Vedant, yes, this is something in fact that you should read, especially if you are serious about IFT. Anjala, are we through? Okay. Oh, Gautam, good to see a response from you, huh? Good to see. All right, here is the next one. Fantastic. The next one. Okay, and here is the last paragraph. Okay. Done. So this is from an area where we normally do not get to read a lot of passages in our practice material. So this topic, and I personally find it very, very fascinating. I mean, geopolitics, it reads like a thriller and suddenly makes you aware of how important the geographical limitations and the contours of the earth are for the way countries and people develop. Why is it that there are regions in the world where people who live there, they are aggressive, and there are regions where the people who live there are not very aggressive? And when you are able to see all those connections with the geography, power projection wars, it's fascinating, fascinating read. So geopolitics, in case you're interested, you can actually read more on it. But right now, let's go ahead and dive into our questions. So question number 6, the main idea of the passage. Go ahead and share that with me. Gautam, in a way, yes, it's pretty close. I would although like to add one or two more things, but yeah, what is it about? It is basically about how water helped countries project power. Okay, so loads and loads of A's. So absolutely correct. I am with you. I will also go ahead and choose A as my answer. The problem with B is that it is distorted. It is not just the availability of the water, it is about using it for agriculture and then utilizing that produce to get that power going. Similarly, if I look at C, it's a generalization. It's an answer choice that I typically call a broad option when it comes to main ideas, so ruled out. Then D actually contradicts the passage. It says the nexus between geopolitics and water is a mere illusion. Ooh, the passage says it's a reality. To think that industrialization has emancipated from the dependence on water, that has been labeled as an illusion in the passage. So this actually contradicts and therefore is easy to rule out. So A it is. Here is the next one for you. Question number 7. What's your take? The last inference question was cannot be inferred. This time around it is can be inferred. Okay, so I hope you read the question carefully and approach it accordingly. See? So, how about A? Industrialization has been able to upstage the importance of water? False. How about B? Modern world's lifelong concerns about water have been exacerbated post-industrialization. They've been made worse after industrialization. Cannot be determined or can't say. So, industrialization has not removed the reliance. It does not automatically mean that it has increased the reliance. And C, a lot of you have figured it out, it is true. How about D? the ongoing trade war between the US and China is primarily due to the intellectual property disputes. False. A major part is soybeans, which again all boils down to water, and that is why C is indeed the correct answer here. And with that, let's dive into our next question. Third paragraph. What's your take? Oh, and those of you who have not submitted their feedback to us, there are certain things that you want us to do more of, right? You want this course to be tailor-made, all the sessions here to be tailor-made and personalized for you. So my team has just shared a link. You'll also find it in the description box. It says YouTube session feedback form. Just click on that link and tell us your areas of concern and what kind of sessions you'd want to see more of. Okay? और बिल्कुल मतलब 10 मैसेज पहले लिंक है. Whoa, you guys are on a roll today, man. हाँ, स्नेहा, वेदांत, निशांत, तंजिला. डूड, मुझे कल थोड़ा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी तुम्हारे लिए साथ में सेशन के लिए कल वाले. देखते हैं. So I'm entirely with you on this. The answer is indeed option D. He understood that he cannot project power without water, so that's essentially what D is all about. Ninth, okay, is that A? Everyone. Whoa, almost everyone. So yes, A it is. That's an absolutely correct answer. Some of these have become way too limited to a particular country or countries and therefore could have been ruled out. Yes. And here is one last question that asks you for the meaning of the word no. You'd find it in the last paragraph within the passage. So, what does the word gnaw means? Gnaw essentially means to chew something or to bite something repeatedly. So much so that you usually end up making a hole in that thing or you end up destroying it. So, you've seen infants, very young children or puppies, when they're going through the teething, they want to continuously bite at something hard. So, that's where they say that they love to gnaw at hard objects. So that was the basic idea, and there is no obvious direct synonym, but what is petrify? Petrify basically means to scare or frighten someone a lot, so much so that they're not able to move, they're not able to talk, they're just stupefied. They're like, they don't even know what to do now. They're scared shitless, as they say. Okay, so can you see any connection between petrify and gnaw? I don't. Okay, then undermine. Undermine basically means to weaken something, to subvert something, to erode the foundation of something. So if you gnaw at something, you're going to destroy it, right? Or you'll make a hole in it, right? So this could be undermine, but let's see. What is emancipate? When you emancipate someone, you set that person free. So definitely not. And inculcate. Your parents have inculcated some values in you. So to fix some beliefs or ideas in a person's mind through their upbringing, through a frequent repetition, is called inculcation. So no connection. So I'd say that the best answer choice, as a lot of you have managed to figure out, is option B. Okay, so that's about the CAT, and this is a bit about the mind. So somebody called me yesterday and said, "Sir, mock diya tha, score अच्छा नहीं आ रहा, sir, क्या करूँ, बहुत खराब हुआ." And this is what I shared. And I thought that you can also benefit from this. Hard days are the best because that is when champions are made. ध्यान नहीं है यार, वो कई बार होता नहीं है, जिम गए, रनिंग के लिए गए, स्पोर्ट्स में गए, जब by the time you step out, you are exhausted. मतलब पूरा बॉडी तोड़ करके बाहर निकले, उस दिन में ग्रोथ कितना होता है ना. So if you go through a session, if you go through a mock which challenged you a lot, I know it and I want you to know it, that mock, that session is making you better, is helping you prepare more. Okay? Gautam, that's exactly how we are supposed to go about RCs. And once again, if you want more practice, head over to the app where we upload a section-wise quiz every day. You can benefit a lot from it. And if you have not registered for this workshop yet, it's happening on the 17th of June, not very far away, where you'd get to talk to one of the toppers, somebody who's joining IIM Ahmedabad, which is a dream college for a lot of us. Then please register. There are limited seats available, so make sure that you do it at the soonest. And of course, if you want to get a great percentile, I very firmly believe that this is a course that is a must-join program. Very exhaustive, takes care of everything. Some people think that we do not teach you GD interview, etc., but we do. Every module is taken care of. And in order to make it easy for you to take a call, there are two measures that we have taken. Actually, both the measures, we are very smart, okay? We'll tempt you. One such measure is try. अब हमको पता है यार, तुम ट्राई करोगे तो इतना टेम्पटिंग लगेगा तुमको ये कोर्स कि तुमको समझ में आ जाएगा यार ये तो करना है ना. थोड़ा सैंपल करने देना. ध्यान है ना, कई बार डाइट पे होते हैं, कोई चीज खाते नहीं है, बट वो एक बाइट अगर ले ली. I had some relatives who would come from this place called Fazilka. I'm from Punjab, I'm from Abohar, and whenever somebody from Fazilka comes to my house, they bring this dessert, this sweetmeat called toshe. भाई एक खा लो फिर रुका नहीं जाता, या तो खाओ मत, और खाने बैठ गए, एक खा लिया तो फिर वही है, मतलब रुका नहीं जाएगा तुमसे. और उसके बाद on top of that, we also have this scholarship test on 25th of June, which will help you shave off up to 90% off the list price. Isn't that awesome? So do make sure that you share and subscribe and follow us at all of these places. In case you found the session useful, don't forget to leave a like. And if you're new here, do subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get to know about a session whenever it happens. So that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you guys once again. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Have a great day ahead, and I'll see you at 12 tomorrow once again. Right? Take care. Jai Hind.